In the headlines to the CBC NewsNight, government may have to import more chicken to prevent a shortage for Christmas. Several new hotels to open in Barbados over the next several years.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome to the CBC NewsNight. I'm Wendy Burke with the details. Government will decide on Thursday if to import more chicken as local suppliers experience major challenges meeting the demand. Confirmation of this from Agriculture Minister Indor Ware after a frank meeting with stakeholders yesterday evening. Crystal Hoyt has the details.
Mindful of the fears Barbadians have expressed about a possible chicken shortage for Christmas, Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security Indor Ware says he is willing to import more poultry if necessary.
Definitely, and that's not something I'm going to shy away from, because Barbadians will not go through this Christmas season on fair promises. Barbadians will not go through this Christmas season taking the risk of us not importing and then our suppliers come up short.
He attributes the shortage to Barbados' main chicken producer experiencing challenges.
And there's nothing really to hide. The top producer of chicken in Barbados had some problems at one of their farms, and therefore their supply dropped. So they went from 100% down to 50% capacity. That obviously impacted the market. It impacted the supermarkets, the fast food restaurants, and it also impacted people who are doing vending and stuff like that.
Last month, Minister Ware said the scarcity of chicken then would have ended in a matter of days. According to him, however, the challenges facing the major producer have persisted.
We imported 2 containers of whole chickens to supplement what was missing. But that in itself did not help the situation, because the supplier then started to have additional problems, and those are problems with growth.
The minister says the issue of growth rate is impacting both the big and small producers, prompting him to seriously consider importing more chicken. Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
You can hear more about the chicken situation from Minister Ware during the In the Know with Crystal Hoyt at 8:03 tonight. Barbados' tourism infrastructure is in for a major boost, with several new hotels set to open their doors in the next few years. Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Gooding-Edgell made the announcement as he addressed a distinguished audience of tourism partners at a London-based reception to launch World Travel Market 2024.
Hotel Indigo Barbados, which is currently under construction with 132 rooms, is expected to open in early next year. The Blue Monkey Hotel and Beach Club, which will be one of the leading hotels of the world, is scheduled to open in March of next year on the west coast of Barbados. The adult-only all-inclusive resort, Royalton Cheap, is expected to open in the spring of 2026 with 220 suites. The first international destination from Pendry Hotels and Resorts will be Pendry Barbados, which will open in the north of Barbados in 2026 with 74 luxury beachfront rooms. The long-awaited all-inclusive Hyatt Barbados project is now expected to commence in January of 2025 and to open in early January 2027, offering 367 rooms and 28 luxury accommodations.
Meanwhile, Minister Gooding-Edgell is inviting Barbadians from the diaspora, returning visitors and first-time guests to come and experience Regathering 2025, a year of cultural celebration. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Andrea Franklin, who is attending her first World Travel Market as CEO after 7 months in the role, is sharing her gratitude and vision for the future.
The relationships that we've built with you, our tourism partners, means so much to us. Many of you here tonight have been key allies, providing valuable insights and helping us to elevate our offerings year after year. And I'm truly grateful for your commitment, your innovation, and your belief in Barbados. I look forward to seeing you all at WTM, therefore, this week. and where we will unveil our theme for the year ahead, a year in which we will invite the world to join us in regathering.
World Travel Market 2024, which runs from November 5th to 8th at the Excel Centre in London, serves as a global platform where BTMI and the Ministry of Tourism aim to attract new visitors and tourism investments to Barbados. American Airlines and Barbados have shared a relationship for almost 5 decades. And today, AA restarted its daily non-stop flights from John F. Kennedy Airport in New York to Bridgetown. This is expected to bolster tourism numbers as the country heads into its festivities for Regathering 2025. Rachel Agard was on hand and filed this report.
Passengers on flight AA 585 were greeted by tourism officials and given a true Bajan welcome, inclusive of the sweet strains of the Tuck Band. Among those making the flight was Consul General to New York, Lorenzo Harewood. Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.'s Acting Chief Executive Officer Craig Hines says this flight route acts as a bridge to the most important part of the USA, the Northeastern Corridor. He says the re-establishment of this service will not only boost tourism, but it will also support the island across a range of vital sectors.
This winter, thanks to the effort of the BTMI team, those in New York and those here at head office, we expect that we should see 25,000 seats from JFK alone from the introduction of this flight. As Jose also said, there is impending inaugural on Saturday, which we will see the launch of the route from Philadelphia, which we expect will add another 3,900 seats flying to Barbados from the U.S. market.
And with Regathering set to restart in 2025, Mr. Hines invites all Barbadians across the diaspora to return home and reconnect with their heritage.
With these direct flights, American Airlines is making it possible for even more people to join us on this journey, reconnecting with loved ones and discovering the vibrant culture once they return here next year for the celebrations.
American Airlines Managing Director of Operations for Mexico and the Caribbean, Jose Maria Giraldo, says these flights solidify the relationship they have enjoyed with Barbados for the past 49 years. And come Saturday, they will add another direct route from the USA to Barbados.
On Saturday, November 9th, American will launch new service from Philadelphia, which will operate weekly with our 737 fleet as well, further strengthening the connectivity to Barbados. Philadelphia is American's transatlantic hub. Our customers can access more than 340 peak day departures to more than 110 destinations. We are proud to be the only U.S. airline that will operate from 4 U.S. hubs to Barbados and operate up to 30 weekly flights, a true milestone for our airline.
Barbados is open to welcome all visitors. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
And the tourism minister says the return of the direct American Airlines flight from JFK Airport in New York is part of the strategy of the BTMI and his ministry to increase airlift into Barbados, especially from the United States. He is hopeful that the service can be maintained after the winter season.
The return of this service also marks the return of, for more than a decade, the absence of American Airlines from John F. Kennedy Airport. We're indeed pleased, and we will continue to maintain the excellent working relationship that we have with American Airlines to increase traffic, passenger traffic to this destination. Of course, the service will be a daily service, and that will add in a very major way to the number of arrivals that we have coming into Barbados.
Coming up, government one step closer to further improving the lives of persons with disabilities. Debate continued in Parliament today on a resolution to take note of the national policy for improving the lives of persons with disabilities. The lower house saw contributions from several members, including Prime Minister Mia Moore-Motley. Joining us now with the details is Sharika Griffith. Sharika, what are some of the major points coming out of Parliament today?
Well, Wendy, we heard that construction of a respite center and residential living facility for adults with disabilities is set to begin next year. The announcement came from Prime Minister Motley. She says the location of the facilities has not yet been determined, but the intention is to operate them in conjunction with non-governmental organizations who cater to people with disabilities.
We will create a village, because we don't want it looking like an institution either. And the assisted living village will then ensure that those who can do a little more for themselves be allowed to do a little more for themselves. And those who can't, well, you will benefit from the support services. The notion that we have to have people go to the psychiatric hospital in order to be able to be taken care of as an adult is not the kind of Barbados that we want, and therefore we will make that change with the development of that capital project starting in 2025.
Now, Prime Minister Motley says government has set a target of 100% accessibility for key government buildings and public spaces in the next 3 years. She revealed an audit to guide this process needs to be completed by March next year, so the funds can be included in the estimates for the next financial year. As it relates to transportation, Prime Minister Motley says access to vans operated by the National Disabilities Unit must be extended to evenings and weekends. She also wants to see the introduction of disability-friendly, privately owned public service vehicles.
Because a time may come when we may have to regulate within public transport and make a fund available to those who may need to borrow to be able to have all mass public vehicles have some capacity for persons with disabilities. And if it is all, then it means that you can have an equitable burden so that there is not a disproportionate burden carried by any one public service vehicle. But we will not make instant policy on this. We want the Ministry of People Empowerment to meet with the Ministry of Transport and to meet with the transport providers to see how best sustainable mobility can be guaranteed.
Meanwhile, Senior Minister in the Prime Minister's office, Dr. William Duguid, says the resolution is timely and he looks forward to the proposed legislation. He voiced his full support for the policy as he shared his experience with transient blindness in his younger years. Minister Duguid says members of the disabled community possess talent.
There are many, many people in this world who may be disabled in one aspect but fully able in another. And we can think of so many people across the world who some people may look at them as being disabled, but they're highly able and highly talented, more so than most in other aspects of life. And these people must be nurtured. And we can only nurture that if we hear people, we see people, we feel people, and we give them the opportunities that they rightly deserve. And that's what this policy is about.
Minister of Housing, Land and Maintenance Dwight Sutherland says that in the 60s and 70s, members of the disabled community did not benefit from the level of support that currently exists. He says some families then were ashamed of disabled relatives. Mr. Sutherland paid kudos to the Barbados Labour Party for its work in advancing the cause of the disabled, allowing them to secure housing and apply for loans through the Trust Loan Program.
And I'm so proud of this government. I'm so proud of this government. We don't only talk the talk, but we walk the talk. We impact where it matters mostly. The lives of our people, whether persons with disability. And I have examples that I've shared here with you this morning to show that this government has been supportive and will continue to put the necessary legislation in place to move from strength to strength in support of persons with disability. I have no doubt about that.
And Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Transport and Works, Dr. Rommel Springer, wants better access for people with disabilities living in rural districts. Dr. Springer, who is the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew, says people in wheelchairs, for instance, find it difficult to maneuver because of the topography of the land.
So maybe we have to look at perhaps a footpath program where we can find all of our disabled persons and see what more can be done. Yes, ramps are good, are well and good. What more can be done for those persons in rural spaces, especially where accessibility is an issue? Where perhaps if they can have a footpath built to alongside the houses to reach them in the back, they can better or more easily get out in and out of their homes.
Well, that resolution was passed. Wendy, that's a snapshot of contributions delivered in the lower house today.
Thank you so much, Sharika. Scores of Barbadians were plunged into darkness or left without electricity this afternoon. But those in the Pine St. Michael area were left scampering or shocked as a transformer exploded on one of the poles just outside the Parkinson Memorial School. A resident who gave her name as an answer says she was at home when the ground suddenly began shaking.
It was like this loud buzzing and trembling, so I just got up. I didn't try to look out the side to see what it was. I just ran and just tried to make sure my kids were safe. And by the time I looked outside, I saw like smoke going across like in the air. My neighbors reported seeing fire shooting across the sky, but when I came out, I saw that the pole was singed, like it had caught on fire. It was scary.
Another resident says he was in bed watching the U.S. elections and thought the noise was an earthquake.
I hear that transformer blow already, and I never hear it like that. I hear more than one transformer blow. I never heard that kind of sound. It was a frightening sound, very frightening sound.
CBC received reports from customers experiencing outages in Christchurch, St. Philip, St. George, St. Michael, St. Thomas and St. John. A release from the Barbados Light and Power says following investigations, a fault was found at St. Barnabas on the 24 kV line. Power has already been restored to some customers, but crews continue to work on safely restoring power to those customers still impacted. Customers are also urged to lodge all emergency reports to 626 9000. Sports time now with Anne-Marie Burke. Anne-Marie, what's new?
Well, good evening to you, Wendy. We begin with news that West Indies and England will do battle tomorrow in the third and final one-day international here in Barbados at Kensington Oval. With the series out at 1-1, the Windies were going through their paces today ahead of the decider. We take a quick break and return with more cricket. And we're back. Jamaica Scorpions pulled off a 19-run win via the DIS method over the Windward Island Volcanoes in today's early match of the CG United Super 50 Cup in Trinidad. The other Super 50 game today at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, Leeward Island Hurricanes were dismissed for 139 in 34.2 overs by the Ghana Harpy Eagles in a match that was reduced to 41 overs per side due to rain. Skipper Rakeem Cornwall made 36, Jeremiah Louis 34 not out, and Justin Graves 27. However, Sammy Pamal took 3 for 24. In replay a short while ago, Harpy Eagles were 55 for 1 after 12 overs. Now that match is live on MCTV's ESPN channel 302. Well, Amas Support Services Barbados Masters have dropped their record to 1-1 in the St. Vincent Masters T20 Festival after losing to Canadian legends 50+ at Cumberland today. Being sent into bat, Amas Barbados Masters were dismissed for 90 in 19.5 overs. Pedro Agar top scored with 29, while Rudy Gibson took 5 for 11. Canadian legends replied with 91 for 6 from 18 overs to win by 4 wickets. Naveed Sahari led with 26, while Wesley Straker took 2 for 25. Amas Barbados Masters will next take on Monroe Road Masters on Thursday. Well, Wendy, that's my first look at sports. I'll be back later with a lot more.
Well, thank you so much, Anne-Marie. Up next on CBC's Newsnight, the Business Report. In tonight's Business Report, a tattoo is more than putting ink in your body with needles. It is a science and an art. That's how multimedia artist Richard Lindley described twisted ink tattoos. Trevor Thorpe visited the parlor at Maxwell Hill Christchurch for a first-hand look at the operation.
Tattoo artist Richard Lindley says clients seek his services for a variety of reasons. For some, it's therapeutic, while for others, it's to reinforce a memory or some other motivation. That's why he says each visit starts with an in-depth discussion.
Most people come here for the pleasure of the needles. Some take it as pain, some take it as a moment to show them something or remind them of something. Some take it as meditation, like they want to sit down. I have a lot of clients that come here and sit down on the bed and literally in tears. They don't even want a tattoo. They just need the feeling of getting something done. They don't know what they want, but they just need that feeling because of what they're going through. And any day we get to talk, we conversate a lot. They tell me a lot about them. So it's more than just sitting down, getting needles, putting in ink.
The tattoos come in all sizes, and the artist gave some background to his brainchild named Twisted Ink Tattoos.
This tattoos with a difference is mainly more therapeutic for me, and the energy of meeting new people, new individuals, and getting to share my art piece and travel with it. Like, I try not to overthink it too much. People could come and get small, but I mostly try to go with unique, detailed tattoos that unique to you, unique to the person. So I like to mostly sit down with consultations, get to know the individual. I get to really see exactly what they want and not exactly what they need. Want, it's still a want in any day, but there's still levels of the wants. So you know, I feed out the fish, separate the sheep from the goat.
Mr. Lindy says the youth entrepreneurship scheme is the backbone of his business and has strengthened his position in the marketplace.
Yes. Yes was a big part of it. They don't just give me the arsenal, they not just teach me or bring me into the entrepreneurship as a business person professionally. They open my mind, man, like mentally, spiritually. It's things I knew. Like, I mean, I've been doing this. Besides the 5 years everyone know, I've been always an artist. I start with t-shirts, printing, and ordered my first machine, started myself. I self-taught myself a lot. Still went out there and did the chorus and what's not, but I self-taught coming up. And it was just you get on your own, you have to provide. The quickest thing for me, where I could see myself working and having fun, is doing tattoos.
While admitting there's some saturation in the marketplace, he says there's already a development plan in place.
The home base is going to be a parlor with multiple artists. It's not just me. It's not just another artist I'm going to collab. I'm going to develop a space where other artists that have the standard, that have the style, the class, the swag, to come and actually have a place to show their work. And they're working for the individual self, but a part of one big body. We're going to have teaching other people that want to get involved in the tattoos or piercing, because they go hand in hand. You know what I mean? So art in general, we could start an art class, and we teach tattoos, we teach piercing as well, but it's all involving art. They have artists that do murals and paintings on the walls and portraits and stuff all know. They got photography, and I'm just one of them.
He says the prices are based on the size of the tattoo and any details added to the final product. Trevor Thorpe.
Assistance is coming for accounting students at the Barbados Community College. The initiative is included in a memorandum of understanding signed between the college and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Barbados, ICAP, as part of the 50th anniversary celebrations. Under the MOU, accounting professionals and volunteers will meet with students and discuss elements of the profession at their college later this month to help prepare them for the world of work. Also among the plans are internships for students and graduates. The 50th anniversary celebration started with a church service at the St. James Parish Church last Sunday. Well, that's business. We'll take a break and be back with the weather.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We say good evening to Carrie-Ann O'Neill, who gave us a mixed bag today.
Very much so, Wendy. Good evening to you and good evening, everyone. Well, the trough system is impacting the island. As a result, we had partially cloudy to cloudy skies along with a few showers. The winds are quite light to moderate across the region, and they're peaking at 50 knots for us here in Barbados. Tonight, we're tracking one tropical wave east of the region. Now, the maximum temperature today was 31 degrees Celsius, the minimum 26 degrees. At present, the temperature stands at 28 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity, 83%. The winds, they're coming in from the east-northeast. We take a look now at our satellite feed, where we do have a tropical wave located at 51 degrees west. The system is moving towards the west. We can expect some showers from that system. That's Thursday into Friday. But today here in Barbados, we had a trough system which provided us with partially cloudy to cloudy skies along with some showers. We had up to 3.1 millimeters of rainfall at the airport. Now the winds, as I said, they're quite light across the region and they're peaking at 50 knots. Meanwhile, those seas, they're moderate in open water with swells peaking at 2 meters. Later on for us here tonight in Barbados, well, we are expecting unstable weather conditions. As a result, a mix of clear and cloudy skies along with a few showers and a very slight chance of some isolated thunderstorms can be expected. Now further south across the Guianas, the ridge pattern was their dominant feature. They had partially cloudy skies, and I can tell you that Raphael is strengthening at this time as it heads towards the Cayman Islands. It's moving towards the northwest with maximum sustained winds at this time 70 miles per hour. While we're looking here at our satellite feed for Barbados, we are already seeing those clouds moving across the island. We do have unstable weather conditions. As a result, we will see that mix of clear and cloudy skies along with some showers. And as I said, a very slight chance of some isolated thunderstorms. That's our first look at the weather. After the break, we'll have the forecast. In the forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 5:53 and will set at 5:30. I can tell you that the first high tide is expected at 7:07 in the morning and the first low at 25 minutes past midnight. Now those seas, they are moderate in open water with swells peaking at 2 meters. The winds coming in from the east-northeast and they're peaking at 30 kilometers per hour. For us here in Barbados tonight, we are expecting a mix of clear and cloudy skies along with some showers and a very slight chance of some isolated thunderstorms. Over the next 3 days, unstable weather conditions will impact us tomorrow. We are expecting a mix of sunshine, clouds and showers. Thereafter, that tropical wave now at 51 degrees west is expected to maintain cloudy skies along with showers, and on Friday we can also expect some thunderstorms.
Time now for the second half of sports with Anne-Marie Burke.
We begin with basketball this time around. The 4 semi-finalists in the Battle of the Cats out-of-season basketball competition have been settled after the round-robin phase ended at the Barbados Community College gym. Cougars finished in first place with a perfect 5-0 record after an 86-76 victory over Lions, while Jaguars ended in third place with a 2-3 record after tasting defeat against the Panthers. CBC's Damien Best reports.
Cougars in green playing Lions. Raheem Gibbons, that's 3 to open his account, finished with 13 points. Rashid Maynard was another player in double figures for the Lions. Takes the direct route to the hoop and finishes at the cup. Had 20 points. But the first half belonged to the Cougars, if only narrowly. The feed to an unattended Zachary Cave handles the business. Adriel Brathwaite was active in the paint too. Cleans up the miss. Lions unable to stop the run. The Cougars heading into the break with a 4-point advantage, 39-35. Renico Brewster accepting the give and go. Sweet, had 13 points. Let's head to the second half. Switch of ends. Lions on the prowl. Markelly Downey, spin move in traffic, then the fade, loving the script, poured in 18 points. Then Maynard with the help off the screen, Sugar, that's 3. But for all the offensive work, the Cougars outscored Lions in the third quarter, 22-21, and in the fourth, 25-20. Brathwaite off the backboard and in. Then the leading scorer in the contest, Kasirian Adams, on a solo mission, teardrop 2, as the Cougars pull away to win 86-76 over the Lions. Next on court, Panthers in the bright pink playing Jaguars. Jeremy Gill locked and loaded, made 4 of 11 from that range to go along with his 12 points. Khalil Austin responded with a crossover and smooth finish, joint 16 points, along with Ryan Lewis. The scores were locked at 45 points apiece at halftime, with both offenses showing they were in it to win it. Eye candy fadeaway jumper from Dario Cumberbatch, game high 24 points. And he seemed to have an unstoppable mid-range game, shot 66% from the field. Panthers playing as a collective, 5 players in double figures. Lewis with the putback, part and parcel of the 30 points his team scored in the paint. But let's go to the second half, change of direction. First bucket belongs to Gill, deep, friendly roll off the rim. But the Panthers had that laser-like focus. David Walks finds his spot, nothing but net. 18 points in the till. And they kept on rolling. Walks, lights out from upstairs. 3 more, 70-59. 1 quarter to go. Theo Greenidge with a team high 21 points now for Panthers. Elevates and dominates. Jaguars got close, but the Panthers would go on to close out the victory by a 5-point margin, 90-85.
Well, thank you, Damien. Now, the matchups for the semis will pit Cougars against Lions and second place Pumas against Jaguars. Game 1 of the best of 3 semifinal series is tonight at the Wildy Gym. Well, the region's best young gymnasts are heading to Jamaica for the inaugural Carifta Championships set for later this month. Barbados' team has been hard at training in preparation for the competition. CBC's Anmar Goodrich-Boyce reports.
Barbados will be represented by a 15-member team for the first ever edition of Carifta Gymnastics in Jamaica. The 2-day event is slated for November 29th and 30th at the National Indoor Sports Center in Kingston. Team manager Charmaine Walcott told CBC Sports the team is ready to compete.
In terms of preparation, we know that the physical aspect is important, but there's also the mental aspect of it that needs to be included. And we also did media interaction with them as well. So we did the media interaction workshop through the Barbados Olympic Association's National Olympic Academy. And right now they're doing a 6-week program with Dr. Janelle Chase-Mears. That is the mental skills training, as well as diet and nutrition.
The competitors will range from level 2 to level 7. And though Barbados is not one of the favorites, head coach Alison Jackson expects good results.
I have no doubt that some of our kids will definitely medal on certain apparatus and maybe in the all-around as well. We are at a disadvantage because, for example, Trinidad, who will be competing, they have 17 gymnastics clubs to choose their team from. So across the board, they have a wider amount of kids represented in many levels, where we only are 15. Even Jamaica has quite a few gymnastics clubs now too. So we are the underdogs, but we did pick our top 15 kids, so we are expecting our girls to do quite well.
Gymnast Olinda Baluro has been working hard in training and is eager to compete.
I'm very excited because it's also the first Carifta for gymnastics specifically, and I love gymnastics and it's a really exciting sport. So to put both of them together, I'm just really excited to go.
Ciara Freeman is also happy to represent her country.
I'm very excited because it's the first one, and I just really want to make myself proud and my family and everybody proud, but I'm really scared too at the same time. So I just hope that all the work that I've done pays off.
Along with Barbados, Trinidad, St. Vincent, Cayman Islands, Belize, and the Bahamas will also participate. Anmar Goodrich-Boyce, CBC Sports.
And that's it for sports for tonight. So back over to you, Wendy.
Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. Best of luck to the team. We'll return after the break. That's news. Thanks for joining. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.